Welcome back. In the previous step, we learned how to print 5 into 6 is equal to 30. It was not a perfect solution because we hard coded everything. What we did was we used an inbuilt function print. We passed in a string parameter to it and we invoked the function print. In this step, let's look at a number of puzzles related to inbuilt methods and parameters and strings. For example, let's say I do print 5 into 6. So important thing to remember is 5 into 6 is within double quotes. So print 5 into 6. What would be the output? Think about it. It just prints the string 5 into 6. Let's say I print it exactly as it is, however, without the double quotes. 5 into 6 is an expression. So what will be the output? Yep, it prints the calculated value. So if you call print with a expression, it prints the result of the expression. However, over here what we did is we put it within double quotes. When we put something within double quotes, it becomes a piece of text. So it would be printed as it is. The other interesting thing to note is that in Python, you can either use double quotes or you can even use single quotes. So in Python, single quote is valid and double quote is valid for a string. So you can see that 5 into 6 is printed as is. Now, let's look at a few other inbuilt methods in Python. One of the inbuilt methods in Python is called absolute, ABS. This is one of the inbuilt methods, and to this you can pass a numeric value. So I can say absolute and pass 10.5 as a value to it, and it prints the absolute value. That's basically the integer value, that's 10. So if I call absolute 10.5, the result would be 10. How do I call absolute 10.5? Think about it. Try and pause the video in here. I would want to call the absolute method passing 10.5, a number, as a parameter. How do I do that? You can pause the video in here and try it. Will this work? Nope, this will not work. The way you can call it is by open parenthesis 10.5, which is the value I would want to pass, and close parenthesis. So here we are passing a numeric value to absolute. Right? If I pass in a string value, will it work? It says absolute function will not work with a string. Absolute only works with numeric values. Let's say I would want to call a function called power. So I would want to find out 2 to the power of 5. So I would want to calculate 2 to the power of 5. In Python, there is a function called POW, which stands for power, to which you can pass 2 parameters and calculate it. How do you do that? You can pause the video in here and try how you can do that. So I would want to call the power function and I would want to pass in 2 parameters, 2 and 5. Will this work? Nope, this does not work as well. So power 2 comma 5. That's the syntax, and you'd see that 32 is printed. So 2 to the power of 5 is 32. Let's see another example. 10 to the power of 3, it's 1000. So this is a alternative to doing 10 star star 3, right? This also prints 1000. Similar to this, there is a function called power, to which you can pass in 2 parameters, 10 comma 3. Let's say there is a function called max, to which I can pass in any number of numbers and find out which is the maximum among them. So how do I call it? So I would want to find out the maximum of 34, 45 and 67 using the max. How do I do that? Think about it. It's simple, right? So I need to say max 34, 45, 67. Right. Similarly, there is also a min function which finds the minimum. So min 34. These are some of the inbuilt functions in Python, and we saw how to call the inbuilt functions by passing in a varied number of parameters. One of the important things for you to note is Python is case sensitive. So let's say I want to calculate power of 2 comma 5. So this would give me 32. But if I say capital P instead of small p in here, that would be an error, because all the function names are case sensitive in Python. So later we would look at what are variables, we will look at what are classes and stuff, and you'd see that everything like that in Python is case sensitive. The only thing which is not really case sensitive is your string values, right? So earlier we looked at printing the value of hello. So print hello, this prints hello. So inside here, inside the text, you can use any case. So this would print hello with a small case, or you can make this O a capital O. That's fine, because this is just a value. So inside the values, the case will not matter, and it would print whatever case you have in the value, it would print it to the console. But inside your function names, in class names, variable names, you need to be very particular about the case. The other important thing is space typically does not really matter. So I can add space here and here, and still you'd get the same output. However, in the case of a value, in a string value, the space does matter. If I say hello world, it would print hello world with a space in between. And if I do hello world with 3 spaces, it would print space as it is. In your method calls or in your expressions, space does not really matter. However, inside the string values, space does matter. The last thing which we would want to look at in this specific video is something called escape characters. Let's say I would want to print a double quote in this. So in print hello, I would also want to print a double quote. So if I do this, what would happen? Aha, it says error. If I want to print a double quote inside a string, I need to use something called an escape. So this slash here is called an escape. Now if I do this, it would print hello followed by a double quote. So this slash in here is called a escape. So you can use slash to escape the double quote. The other reason why you would want to use a slash is when you would want to print a new line. So let's say I want to print hello world, and I would want to print hello on one line and world on the next line. In that case, slash n is another escape character. So hello world. So you can see that hello is on one line, world is printed on the next line. The other important escape character is hello slash t. So it's slash t, which prints a tab. So you can see that there is a tab space between hello and world. Another useful escape character is slash slash. So if I want to print a slash, then I would need to put slash slash. Then you would see that it prints hello slash world. So think about what would happen if I put 6 slashes. You can pause the video in here and think what would be the output. Yep, you're right. It would print 3 slashes. One of the things with Python is, as we discussed earlier, it does not matter whether you use double quotes or single quotes. So you can use a string with single quote, and if your end characters are single quotes, then the double quote does not need to be escaped. So you'd see that this would print hello double quote, and you'd see that if I use a double quote as my string representation, then inside it I can use single quote without a problem. So I can say hello single quote world. The problem would come if I use double quote, in which case I would need to escape it. So one of the best practices that people typically do in Python is, when you are creating a string literal, if the string literal contains a single quote, then you can use double quote to delimit. So let's say I would want to print hello world, right? So I can use double quote as the delimiter. That would ensure that my string is simple. However, if my string contains double quote, let's say this is what I would want to print, then I'll use single quote as the delimiter. In all other situations, it does not matter what you use. You can either use a single quote as a delimiter or a double quote as the delimiter. In this video, we looked at a wide range of things related to strings. We looked at things related to inbuilt methods. How do you pass parameters to a method, and we also looked at the escape characters. Until the next video, bye bye.